So this is the middle of March and I haven't been to see the Islington Zen Garden for about 3 months. So this is the first visit of 2021. We have to maintain this garden, so here we are looking after it. And because we did a hard prune of all the trees back in the autumn, they're all looking very good. And this is the Zen area. The deciduous trees haven't come into leaf yet, but they soon will be in leaf. So we've just got to do a little more pruning. These plants are all on irrigation system, but the irrigation has been turned off since the end of October and it's not on yet. We'll put the irrigation on maybe in the first week in April. And this is a giant hornbeam and all the leaves are coming into leaf. Everything looking good. These are my large bonsai. They're about 6 foot high, 2 meter high. This is what we produce them for. It's a lovely day, lovely spring day. I don't want to be in the video. I think the trees and the garden are what you would like to see. Can't imagine that some of these rocks weigh as much as 4 tons. Even these small ones are about half a ton. This is a massive pine. This has got like a 6 to 8 foot spread. They had to be craned over all these trees. Look at the size of that pine. This is a Bouverenensis pine that we grew on the nursery since 1986. So they're all over 40 years old. We brought them as already quite big plants and they've been trained over all these years. So these are all bonsai that we make, large bonsai that we make. And I'm very proud of having created them. All these are homemade trees. None of them are imported trees. There you go. So here I am explaining to our viewers what I'm doing here. I'm pruning these large Japanese garden trees which are made from Bouverenensis pine, the dwarf Scots pine. And the maintenance really is to make sure that there are layers between the different pads. So anything hanging down, because they are such prolific trees, I'm not worried about cutting too much. So anything hanging down is cut away, so we leave the space between. So this one is hanging down. Let me remove some of that. And that one, that side is also hanging down, so I remove that whole branch. So quite a lot is removed. And with oils you don't have to just take the candles out. By just pruning the ends, if you come close and see, all I'm doing is pruning the ends. If you just prune the ends, it makes them bud back. So all this back budding and the density has been created for the last 30 years simply by constantly pruning the ends of the shoots. And that's how you get the density in branches. No funny tricks, removing candles and the like. Nothing like that. It's just pruning the ends and you'll get the density. See how dense it is. So dense. Just the ends. And these hanging ones I keep removing. It looks simple and it is simple, so don't be put off. And also the other thing I'm doing with the maintenance, I look for adelgids on these pines. Adelgids is an insect pest that can suck the sap and ruin the tree. So I'll show you on this one. There are a few adelgids here. If you bring the camera close, we will show you. If you look closely at this one, You see those little white spots? They are the insects which will grow and develop, and they can suck the sap on those trees. So that's what we've got to do. So again, you see how the layers are created. So anything that's interfering with the layers, anything growing upwards or hanging down, we remove. So that is basically all the maintenance you need. Okay? So just from two little branches here, that pad and that pad, just see the amount I've taken out. So there's always a lot of pruning to be done. And the shapes of these trees are maintained by constantly pruning and creating the pads. Otherwise, the shape gets lost. So I've got lots more to do, and you're going to see a pile about 10 times that size by the time I've just finished with this tree. Just this tree, I will be producing about 10 times that volume of prunings. This view, I'm going to remove this branch. So if you look at this tree again, this branch is cluttering the space. So I'm going to take quite a large branch out, as big as that. Been taken out just to create that space, the layers. So that space has been created by taking that. So you've got to be bold. So this is how we're creating the space between the layers. Even this I'm going to have to see how I create more space over here. Now over here, this branch is doing nothing, so I'm going to take it off. That branch comes off, so I've got space in it. So again here, this branch is cluttering the space, so I'm taking that off. So you can see how much has to come off to create the space. This is where people get terrified about pruning, but you've got to do it if you want to get that Niwaki type effect, Japanese garden tree effect.